Alonzi, Alonso. Why, hello there YouTube, and welcome back to Doctor Who First and Last Reviews. So now we are on to the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, 2005 to 2010. So, as his first outing, it was on the 2005 Christmas special. Now, 2005, it was the first time I think we ever properly had a Christmas special. I mean, we've had episodes in the past that are around Christmas and stuff, but yeah, anyway, yeah, that is the Christmas Invasion, where David Tennant, where after one series, we said goodbye to the 9th Doctor, and hello to the 10th Doctor, and, well, for me, this was where I truly became the Whovian I am today. So, the Christmas Invasion is when the Doctor and Rose crash on Earth, around the Powell estate, and basically they get the Doctor's in his post-regeneration state after absorbing the entire time vortex, and he's in recovery. But then these aliens pick up this satellite that these astronaut people send out, and with a blood group in, and then next thing they control people and make and like, yeah, they're just chaos, the cigarettes, and with the Doctor unable to do anything, well, Rose is the only one who can help. So what did I like about this? Well, I first of all loved the robot Santas. I thought they were a great touch. I mean, very little was known about them. In this first episode, first ever Christmas special, apart from that they had trumpet guns and that. Another thing I liked was, David Tennant in this. Now, despite him being unconscious and sleeping through a majority of the episode, I still thought he was, I think he stole the show in the final act of this episode. Also, there was a mini episode, a Children in Need special, which is sort of like a prequel, where it's like a 10-minute scene where the Doctor and Rose are just talking things through and that and stuff, and then next thing the TARDIS spins out of control. Back to the Christmas Invasion. So yeah, I like the Doctor in this, David Tennant. In fact, David Tennant became my Doctor. Even though Christopher Eccleston was my first one, David Tennant was like the Doctor of my generation. I also liked Billie Piper in This Is Rose and stuff, how she was trying to keep it all together and that. But also I like Mickey Smith in it as well. As always, he was a bit of a dumb one in this. It was before he became Badass Mickey. And that. Another thing I liked was the cigarettes themselves, when when the leader took off his mask and stuff. I also liked the finale in that episode when they're fighting, when the Doctor's dueling with him. Also, it turns out the blood control, if you push the button, they don't kill themselves, they just break from the bond. I also enjoyed the fight in that with David Tennant. I also liked how he saved the world with a Satsuma, and how he wore pyjamas because he was wearing pyjamas from one of Jackie's male friends, I put it. Yes. So that's what I enjoyed. I also enjoyed how we got to see the Doctor like pick his outfit, like from a trench coat to a brown suit with a pair of sneakers, and that's when he came. That's when he like roughly. I like that when he just got into that suit. Yeah, he just became the Doctor, and he had the specs on, the brainy specs. Yeah, I then was completely won over by David Tennant after one episode, and that. My dislikes. First of all, I didn't like how thick Jackie were in this, but I had to say throughout series 2 and that Jackie did kind of get a bit more smarter, a bit more tougher. But yeah, I didn't really like her much in this. But I don't blame Camille Kijioro in this for that. But I just didn't. I just haven't warmed up to her character just as much yet. I also did not like what's her name, Penelope Summer, as Harriet Jones Prime Minister. Now that character Harriet Jones just does my head in. That in Aliens of London and World War Three, how she always introduces herself to people, going Harriet Jones, MP for Flydale North, and then like Harriet Jones Prime Minister. That just annoys me. It really irritates. She just gets on my nerve. I mean, she's a good actress, but her character in this show just doesn't do it for me. That. I also like Unit, how they had a small part in it, but it's like the Doctor, they hadn't got the Doctor back or anything. I don't know, but yeah. For me, David Tennant saved this, and I think Russell T Davies did a good job writing this episode and that, and stuff. So yeah, Doctor Who: The Christmas Invasion. So final thought. So ratings. I'm gonna give Doctor Who: The Christmas Invasion. I'll probably give this one a 4 out of 5. So, yeah, if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. Oh wait, how could I forget? We've only done the first review. We got to do the last one. So, let's get to the next part, which is the last review. The End of Time. Allons-y! Okay, so, The End of Time. So this is David Tennant's final outing as the Doctor. And we have him facing the Master. Now, 2009, the series took a short break, and we were compensated with 4 special episodes, or if you count the next Doctor, 5 specials. And in the Easter special of that year, the Doctor was foretold a prophecy that that it's returning from the dark, and he will knock 4 times. Of course, that being the Master. Now, of course, we all work that out, that the Master is returning, and John Sim returns as the Master after a 2-year absence, and we were trying to work out who took that ring on his grave in Last of the Time Lords, and we now know. And he was resurrected. And of course, the Master is causing chaos and confusion, and he wants to make the whole world like him. Then, of course, we have the side story with the narrator thinking, okay, Timothy Dalton, he's in it, he's a narrator. And then we find out that he is actually the Time Lord President. And then in part 2, we have the side story with, the Time Lords trying to work out how they can get out of this time lock. And of course, the Doctor manages to save the world, as he always does. And of course, it all comes at a terrible price, where he must face his maker and regenerate. So, let's get on to my likes and dislikes about this one. So, first of all, the likes. I liked how John Sim came back into it, because I loved him as the Master, and I'm glad he made a comeback as the Master. I also thought Timothy Dalton's narration in this episode, it was good. I liked his voice in it. And then him turning out to be the Time Lord President, we then no longer had his narration. It was all, part 2, he was like the president. He was at a meeting around the table with other Time Lords, trying to discuss how they're going to get out of this and stuff. And it turns out the Time Lords, the Doctor never even destroyed them. He locked them in time in one single moment. And of course, we never get that question answered until the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor. So, yeah. Also, we see Wilfred in this, helping the Doctor, and yeah. So it's a two-parter. And yeah, it's quite an emotional rollercoaster ride, and that. Of course, with it being the 10th Doctor's last ever story, they wanted to have some fun there, so they had some comedic relief, some like happiness, some sadness, some wittiness in that, and stuff. And also we have the heartbreaking send-off from David Tennant's Doctor. So let's get on to my likes and dislikes. So what I liked about this, like I said, I liked Timothy Dalton as the narrator. I liked the Ood, how they were in it, and Ood Sigma. I liked him, Ood Sigma. And then I like the Master, how he came back into it. Weren't such a huge fan of him like doing that whole skeleton thing and that. I also liked Timothy Dalton's performance in this. And another thing I liked was the twists. So in one plot twist, the President actually turns out to be Rassilon. I know, right? I'm thinking, God, did he wake up and regenerate or something? And another twist was that it wasn't the Master who was the Fornox. It was none other than Wilfred Mott knocking on the glass door. Yes. And of course he was in a chamber where it was about to flood with radiation, and the Doctor made that noble sacrifice. And at the time when I watched this, I was saddened by it and that, but as time's gone on and I've grown up a bit more and stuff, I've looked at it now and I kind of think it did drag on. Like the whole bit where the Doctor has a bit of a rant and a tantrum. I found that sad to watch, but looking at it now, I kind of find it a bit like selfish of him. I also thought, the regeneration scene and everything was sad, but looking at it now, I do think it did drag out. Also, the cameos from all his companions that he's had throughout his run, I thought they were a nice touch at the time, but then looking at it now, I think this is just dragging on. And looking at it now, it did drag on for me. I mean, watching it back in New Year's Day 2010, I was sad to see him go. But watching it now, I kind of think it was a bit selfish of the 10th Doctor, like going, I don't want to go, and that. I was like thinking, he's had this whole thing prophesized to him since series 4 with the whole, your song is ending, and then the 4 knocks and that. So I don't know why he was moaning about the inevitable and that. I also like the ending, how Matt Smith ended the episode with, his quick witty banter in his 30 seconds and stuff, and how it set things in motion for the Moffat era. But looking at this now, looking at it back in like Christmas 2009, New Year 2010, I thought this was mind-blowing and amazing. But looking at it now, I kind of think the story kind of dragged on, and there was a lot of digital effects, especially in part 2. There were tons of digital effects, and looking at it all, I kind of think it's not necessary, but that's how they did it. I don't blame David Tennant for the whole I don't want to go, all that stuff. I blame the writing, but I think with it being Russell T Davies's last ever time working on the show, I think he just wanted to cram in as much as possible for this. So yeah. So let me think. Ratings. I enjoyed The End of Time. I thought it was a good story at the time when I watched it. Looking at it now, I kind of think This could have been cut down a lot because, yeah. You know, I mean, yeah, like I was saying, Russell T Davies just wanted to cram so much in as possible. And in the long term, I look at it now and think it dragged out a lot. But at the time, I thought it was, a bit sad and everything and that. Okay, so final thought. So ratings for this. I thought The End of Time was okay. At the time, I thought it was good and emotional and sad. But looking at it now, as I've said already. Okay, so I'll just give you my ratings. With all that being said, I'm gonna give The End of Time. If I watched it when it was on back in Christmas 2009, New Year 2010, I would have probably given this a 5 out of 5. But watching it now, I think I give The End of Time. I think I would give it a. I think I'll give it a 3 out of 5. And that. But if it was performance wise, I would give the performances in that a good, 4 out of 5. Anyway, this has been Doctor Who First and Last Reviews on the 10th Doctor. I've been Davros and I've been a Whovian. So, if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and to hit that notification bell. And until next time, run for your life.